Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Anissa binti Abdullah Hardi Ismandi. Today we will be presenting our topic which is the impending barriers in the public sector with a specific focus on XYZ agency in Sarawak. As we know, reforming the public sector is important to improve services and transparency. But during our internship at XYZ agency in Sarawak, we saw four common problems, which is miscommunication, lack of discipline, poor knowledge sharing, and lack of trust. These issues happen in many agencies, not just at XYZ. To make national plans like National Policy on Science, Technology and Innovation, also known as NPSTI 2020, work, we need to solve this problem first. Other than that, Malaysia is working to improve its public sector with plans like NPSTI 2020. This initiative aims to boost efficiency, transparency and service delivery across all government agencies. However, despite these efforts, problems still exist inside many agencies, include the one we have studied at XYZ agencies. We observe issues that are holding back progress. The first one is miscommunication, where information is not shared clearly among staff. Lack of discipline, such as missed deadlines and staff arriving late. Poor knowledge sharing, where important information is not passed on effectively. And lack of trust, where staff feel afraid to speak up or share honest feedback. These barriers may seem small, but together they slow down reform and must be fixed in order for transformation efforts to truly succeed. In this presentation, we aim to achieve three main objectives. The first one is to identify the barriers that public servants face within their departments. This could be issues related to the communication, discipline or workplace culture. The second one is to explain how these barriers can impact organizational progress, such as delays in service, low staff morale, or failure to implement reforms effectively. And the third one is to suggest basic ways organizations can deal with these barriers so that they can create a more productive, transparent, and supportive working environment.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurin Shafika Zaira and I will present three issues which are miscommunication, lack of discipline, and noise disruption of knowledge. The first one is miscommunication. During internship, some instructions were only given verbally without written confirmation, and it often led to confusion or mistakes, especially when updates were shared late. The second case is there was a clear case of miscommunication when a key staff member resigned. There was no proper announcement or discussion about how to divide the remaining tasks. Only two people had an informal talk and no clear instructions were shared within the team, and this has caused confusion and argument within the department, and one person ended up handling everything alone. Also, there were case interns randomly assigned to be a student escort for a event, and there was no proper briefing and they were unclear about their roles. And the last situation is where unclear instructions from staff led to repetitive tasks. And this showed on how important clear and direct communication is in order to avoid confusion and saving time. And the second issue is lack of discipline. The first one is there was a case where a staff member passed his off-site duty to a subordinate without permission and skipped the task completely. The second situation is where a staff member who got promoted to a new government position left abruptly without finishing his work or handling it over properly. This showed a lack of responsibility and poor work ethics, which affected the team's workflow. And the third situation is some staff misusing the punch card system, clocking in early then leaving for personal errands. And there was an internship student also repeatedly asked a colleague to clock in on their behalf. This not only showed a lack of discipline but also raised concerns about ethics and integrity in the workplace. And the third issue is noise disruption of knowledge, or we can say it as knowledge asymmetry. The first situation is where last minute changes were sometimes poorly communicated, where staff didn't get clear instructions and were unsure of their roles. And the second situation is there was a noise disruption of knowledge, where a manager assigned a complex task to a staff just because he was a master's graduate, but the task was actually outside of his knowledge and the department scope. This actually caused stress and confusion as it was based on wrong assumptions rather than proper communication. And the third situation where this happened is a staff member repeatedly delayed completing a task despite clear instructions, and such discrepancy interruptions when expected actions aren't carried out can harm productivity. And the last situation of disruption is where instruction were filled with unfamiliar terms which made it difficult to understand the task, and it shows that that unclear communication can disrupt learning and performance.
My name is Sharifah Farhani and I'm gonna present the problems under lack of trust. The first issue under the lack of trust is even after submitting complete reports and proof of field work, some staff still had their claim questioned. This shows a lack of trust from management. It makes staff feel unappreciated, lowers motivation, and can hurt teamwork and morale. The second example under lack of trust is in the EXA project, a senior staff was closely monitored by her superior who checked her work too often, even before it was completed. This made her feel that her capabilities were not trusted, even though she had experience. It affected her confidence and teamwork spirit. So the third example under lack of trust is during my internship at organization XYZ, I noticed lack of trust in the workplace. Senior staff were hesitant to delegate tasks to junior employees. This led to slower workflow and limited learning opportunities for juniors. As a result, many felt demotivated and excluded, which affected team morale. Trust is crucial for effective collaboration, staff development, and building a supportive work culture. So the last issue under lack of trust is due to previous mistake. In following instructions, the same task was later assigned to another intern. This situation created a sense of distrust towards internship students, which affected our confidence and motivation. So the first suggestion is enhance communication channels and decision-making efficiency. At XYZ agency in Sarawak, we observed that a rigid hierarchical structure caused delays. As even simple tasks require multiple approvals, we recommend streamlining communication and reducing unnecessary approval steps. Empowering teams with more autonomy can improve efficiency, boost staff morale, and help the agency respond faster to changing needs. The second suggestion is implement continuous and practical training program. One way to reduce resistance to change is through hands-on training. At XYZ company, I saw that some senior staff struggle with digital tools like Excel, not because they refuse, but because they lack confidence. Training should include guided practice and personal support to help them feel more comfortable repeating sessions. Also help reinforce learning. When employees feel supported, they are more likely to accept change and use new tools effectively.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Shazana. I will be presenting on the third suggestion, the fourth suggestion, including the conclusion. The third suggestion that can be made is designer change agents or tech mentors within the teams. To support digital adoption in the workplace, we suggest by assigning a younger staff as a tech mentors. They can guide the interns and other staff through digital processes in a more relatable and effective way. At the same time, encouraging peer learning will help reduce confusion and boost confidence when facing technology-related challenges. This approach not only improves digital skills but also strengthens teamwork and communication within the team. The fourth suggestion, or the last suggestion, is promote transparent performance feedback and delegation practice. We suggest by giving clear feedback and openly sharing performance expectation to build trust. When supervisors show their trust through the action, it helps employees feel valued and respected. Clear delegation also reduces the need for micromanagement. This allows employees to work more confidently, take responsibility, and perform better in their roles. In summary, issues like miscommunication, lack of discipline, knowledge gaps, and trust problems are common happen in the public sector. These challenges often come from the workplace culture as we observe during our internship. Insights from XYZ agency highlight problems that many government agencies also face and can help improve policies, training, and leadership. That's all from us. Thank you very much.